Yeah, so we are stepping into a massive shift in spatial computing. And like you just saw just a few days ago, PICO announced the OS 6 and teased their upcoming flagship hardware, the Project Swan. And like you saw in the previous session, they are making a massive pivot from just a gaming console to serious wearable workstations with monitor level clarity. And that, yeah, as a developer, the big question would be, how do we start building for this today? And the answer simply is the new PICO Emulator. It integrates directly into Android Studio, and it is heavily optimized for Mac right now, but you can also use it for Windows. And you don't need a physical headset to get started building for OS 6 or for the Project Swan. You can just use the emulator available right now. You can just drag and drop your APK files you build into the emulator or use the web browser to start applications. You can simulate everything from controllers to eye tracking and even record your screen in it for rapid prototyping. And yeah, let me show you exactly how easy it is to get this running. So for that, I will show you this page. It's the resources for developers of PICO. And like you can see here on the web page already, there's a lot of options. You can build for spatial, web, Unity, etc. And if you scroll a bit more down, you find the PICO emulator here. So the first thing you could do here is open the documentation. And inside the documentation, you get yeah, instruction of how to install the emulator itself. So what you would need to do is download the emulator from the downloads here. It's for spatial building, which includes the package for Android Studio. So in Android Studio, then you would need to add the emulator. I will just show you how that would work. So first, I would suggest you to download this JetBrains toolbox. And there you can install different versions of Android Studio. You would just scroll down, search for Android Studio, click here on the button, and search for other versions. And especially for the PICO simulator, you would need to have version, I will show it to you in the, in the toolbox. You would need version 2025 minus 0. 2025.1.x. So I installed this patch 2 here from 2025. I can guarantee you that is working. And as soon as it's installed, you could open it by just clicking here. I did this already and opened the project here. And if you want to run the simulator, you need to, I can also close it here. First thing you would need to do is install the plugin we just downloaded. So for that, you would need to go in Android Studio in the start menu here on the settings, and you say install plugin from disk, and you just search for your plugin you just installed for it, which would be actually here where I did it. Just use the zip file, install it. And after you did that, you would need to start a project, which I already did here, which is the welcome project. You can just use any sample project you find in the documentation here. In that case, I just use this sample project, welcome to PICO OS 6. You can download it here and just open it in here, because it is necessary that you open the project here so that you can create the PICO simulator. Exactly. So as soon you did all the steps in the documentation, you would be able to, in Android Studio, just create a new PICO simulator by clicking on this button here, and you would have the PICO simulator available here. And yeah, you would just be able to start it by clicking on the button, and you see the simulators or emulator is starting up. And running. Also from this point, as soon as it's running, you can also close Android Studio again. You will not need it. It's just what you need to do if you want to start it. In the emulator itself, you can see you can move around now. You have a lot of options here on the left side. We will just shortly go through them. So the home button is just to open your home menu. You can change the environment. For example, to a museum here, or to other environments. You can see all the shortcuts keys for the controllers if you want to simulate controller interaction. Also, this button at the same time is there for showing activating the controllers or deactivating them, because you could alternatively also click this button, and that would allow you to use the keyboard. If you open the browser here, for example, you can see now I can just write with my keyboard something down. And exactly, that's what the keyboard would be for. You can also do screenshots or record the screen. You can see now I just pressed the button, and if I stop it, you see just recorded the screen, which helps you really in capturing fast what you built. And yeah, that's basically all the settings you would need in the controller, in the emulator to interact with it. You can see some more options down here for choosing which controller you want to use. For example, now I use the left controller, or also the eye gesture for interaction. Exactly. And that's basically all the options you have. And if you have an APK later, you can just drag and drop it in here, but we will show you that at the next steps. So that is the emulator.